tuning in. Hey, what's up, Hello News family? Welcome to another episode of Can We Talk? Today is a special legal edition. I wanted to break down a very popular case that's been buzzing right now in South Florida. Is rapper Flo Rida, who secured the bag with an $82 million lawsuit against Celsius energy drinks. And I drink Celsius. I literally got one in my fridge right now that I'm gonna drink, but they needed to pay him his money. And I wanted to break this down because I saw a lot of chatter about this, and there was nobody else that I wanted to have this discussion with other than my girl attorney Shawn Campbell. Hey, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Janae. I'm so happy I could come on and help you with this.
No, thank you. And I just did her show, so you guys head over to the Bill Spot podcast and check out that conversation. We were talking about dating and relationships, so that was a really fun conversation. So definitely want to give the podcast that plug. But today it's all about the legal tea, and I know you know how to break this stuff down for the people, attorneys, Shawn. So give the people a little bit of background of like what happened with this case with Flo Rida.
All right, so rapper Flo Rida, as you guys know, Miami born and bred, he was able to secure a $82.6 million bag against energy drink Celsius. And this verdict came through this past Wednesday. It was based on a jury verdict where that involved an endorsement deal, with Flo Rida and Celsius that started back from 2014. And so in this lawsuit, Flo Rida, he agreed to allow Celsius to use his product endorsement and licensing, basically his image and professional services to promote Celsius. And in exchange for that, Celsius agreed to pay Flo Rida certain royalties and per co-branded energy products that he sold with them. And so in his lawsuit and his complaint for breach of contract, Flo Rida alleged that not only did Celsius make those sales, that would trigger him to get the stock options and royalties, but they also withheld this information from him fraudulently, And so that's what's basically what the case was about.
So, Attorney Shawn, there is some messiness that went on with this case, and that's how it even got to this point. Tell us about some of that legal messiness that happened with Flo Rida and Celsius.
Yes, there was a lot of legal messiness in the background. And so basically, the defense attorney for Celsius, their argument, their defense against this lawsuit was, one, you don't have a contract to stand on, an argument to stand on, but also they said that this is a contract from 2014. Here we are in 2023. What took you so long, Flo Rida? And they said that the reason Flo Rida came up with this lawsuit so late in the game was that he was struggling, That money got tight during the pandemic, and he needed to offload some of those Celsius stock. And in the midst of that, that's what reminded him, I think they owe me some money, And so the attorneys for Celsius were saying, hey, you took too long. It's been 7 years. You waived that right? That was their argument. And clearly we know it failed. The jury did not agree because the jury agreed with Flo Rida, that he was entitled to these royalties and whatever other options was available in that contract because they obviously let out a verdict for him.
And so we were talking offline, and I think it was something interesting that I really want you to share with people about the legal system, because in my mind, I'm thinking if I enter into a contract, you owe me money, whether I go and pursue it or not. I didn't know that you have the right to say, well, this much time has passed by, I don't have to pay you. And that's kind of what the legal defense was for Flo Rida. Can you break that down for people who may not understand that about the legal system?
Yes, I can. So remember, Janae, we also have statute of limitations, that bars a person's time to file that lawsuit, If you have a legally cognizable case, you need to go ahead and jump on it, Because if you wait 5 years, then you risk, losing witnesses, losing evidence, and things like that. And so certain cases do have a statute of limitations. In this case, with a breach of contract, it was a 5-year statute of limitations on this contract. However, there was an issue in an extension, a 2016 extension, that seems like it saves Flo Rida from what I can garner from the court records. However, back to your question, you do want to jump on that Also, with the waiver, it's a little different from the statute of limitations, right? Statute of limitations, statutory, saying you have 5 years to file it. But what the defense was really saying is it's been even longer than that, right? It's been 7 years almost. And so you really waived your right, quote unquote, to even file this lawsuit. And so he has that right to file that defense, right? And then that's why we go to court to let the judge or the jury decide. But yes, you definitely should, guys, if you still feel like you have a legal case, don't sleep on it. Don't wait years later, right? You want to jump on it as soon as possible. Find you an attorney, have them look over your contract with you, read through it and see what rights have been breached, right? And what legal rights you have to pursue, right? Those breaches of contract.
And Doctor, I'm calling you Dr. Shawn, Dr. King, Attorney King, Attorney Shawn, all your titles, Dr.
I say you call me anything but collect, right? Call me whatever you want to.
Attorney Shawn, Dr. Shawn. What do you think in Flo Rida's case could have made his case strong? I don't know if you saw that in the legal documents, but what do you think made him have a strong case that allowed him to win?
I think it was just based on the facts, really, and the contract. While the court records did not provide an actual copy of the contract, they made it confidential. But I can kind of garner some of the terms from what that contract included, and so I would say that they relied on the plain language of the contract. He was entitled. They had this benchmarks in there. And so what the jury was tasked with really was just determining when this breach happened, what year did it happen? And I think that was the biggest issue in it. And so the jury agreed that, right, that obviously Celsius made a number of sales that was listed in the contract, right, on a certain date. And that's the date when they made those sales, they breached that contract. And so therefore he was entitled to it. So I would say having a good contract is essential to fighting these things. When you're entering into these contracts, you also always have to think this may lead into litigation. And so you want to be able to have terms clear so you know what you're getting into, right? And what your obligations is, and also what your legal rights are.
Wow. You know what? I'm glad that Flo Rida got his bag. $82 million is not a bad thing to have after, going through these years of fighting it. And, he had the petty picture with him posing with the Celsius can at the end. I'm not mad at him because they tried to get petty and say, you only want this money because your coin's dry. He's like, well, now you're going to make it rain on me.
I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I've heard people say,
boy, got them together.
They got them together. I mean, and just be honest, a lot of people looked at Celsius as Flo Rida's drink, right? Because it was associated with him. He made it a bigger name. And so the company, right, they tried to say the sales weren't there, and he knew it, and that's why he didn't ask for the money earlier. But clearly, the facts, the evidence, and the jury, right, their decision, they definitely disagreed with the defense and agreed with Flo Rida, and he walked away with a bag.
Come on, Carol City, we don't play. Congratulations, Flo Rida. Yeah, you're from Carol City too. You know what it is.
Yes, we don't play, honey. I tell them, tell me no. I'm not walking away. And so, with that being said, I definitely want to encourage our listeners. If you ever enter into a contract, please read over your contract. That's the most important thing you can do. Number 2, if you're not a legal professional, hire one, contact one, and at least have them look over the contract, and they can give you some ideas on what is missing. Also, some other ways to protect yourself legally if in the event your case has to go to court or mediation or arbitration or anything like that. And most importantly, just like with Flo Rida, timing is everything, right? You don't want to sit on this. You don't want to wait because there are usually statute of limitations that is going to limit your time for filing that case. Okay. And so I want to encourage you guys to contact Campbell Law and Associates today if you have a contract issue that you think may be able to take into court. And so we'll help you with that.
Yeah, I love that you gave our audience those tips, because I was going to ask you, like, what can people do? And also, to let people know about Campbell Law and Associates. This is your law firm. So just in case they didn't connect the dots, let us know about Campbell Law and what you guys do over there to service your clients.
Yes. So Campbell Law is a law firm. It's owned by me. I have another attorney who's on my team currently helping me. And so right now we're practicing family law. We're practicing immigration. We have some property clients as well as personal injury clients. And again, things like this, contract law, these are civil cases. We can handle all types of civil cases. At the end of the day, I know for me, my goal with Campbell Law is really to just reach out to my Black and brown people and let them be comfortable with talking to an attorney and going to an attorney with your problems. Because what I see is that a lot of people call us on the back end after everything has happened and things are in the worst case. And I want to kind of let them know, hey, you don't have to go through that. You can contact an attorney. I give free consultations. I will listen to what your problem is, and then we'll go through it. I'll let you know if it's something that we can take or something we may not, but definitely just don't sit on it, right? Because you guys have this access to information.
No, and I love what you said too, because in our community, we think that it's too expensive to go to an attorney, and it's really more expensive once that legal issue is there when you could have got the help in the beginning.
For sure, 100%, Janae. I would say a lot of my clients, when they call me, I say, listen, we probably could have resolved this with a letter years ago, right? Or a year ago. And so, there's always other options before you even get to court. And that's something as an attorney, I'm not attorney just say, let's go to court, right? I want us to explore all our options, because at the end of the day, I'm a consumer just like you guys. I'm trying to get more bang for my buck. And so if we can resolve it with a letter or an email or whatever it is, that's where I'm down for that as well. But it's all about, for me, just giving my clients good service, access to the legal information they need, and really just to help protect them and get them, on the right track with their life, because these are easy issues sometimes that when you wait, they exacerbate, right?
Yeah.
And so they really do.
I really appreciate you breaking that down. And, before you go, I want you to tell people how they can connect with you, where they can learn more about what you do. If you guys have been watching the show, you can see we've had Attorney Campbell's information strolling on this bottom of the screen, but I want to give her a chance to shout out her business and tell you guys how to connect with her.
Yes, I am Attorney Campbell. I am the owner of Campbell Law and Associates PA. We are a law firm based here in Miami, Florida. If you guys have any questions, we do offer free consultations. It's either by phone or in person. And you can contact us by filling out a contact form on our website, and that's at campbelllawfl.com. You guys can also follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram is Campbell_lawfl. Or you can contact us via phone. We have a telephone number, 305-814-8775. I answer. Call me if you need any help.
Yes, I love it, y'all. We got to make sure we supporting our own, especially a Black attorney doing her thing, and she's breaking this stuff down. Look, Attorney Campbell, we've talked offline, but we might as well let the people know. Attorney Campbell will be joining us and breaking down legal tips more for us, especially things that are related to, the Black community, South Florida, and, pop culture.
Yes.
So get used to Attorney Campbell's face. She's going to be making sure she breaks these things down for us so we know what we need to do, and also we get this legal tea as well.
Yes. So win-win with this. And so I'm looking so forward to that, Janae.
Yes.
And we're going to continue this relationship. And so with that being said, I want to congratulate Flo Rida on his verdict.
Come on now, Flo got the 82 million. Okay.
He got the bag. And so that's a great win, not only for him, but even for our community, right?
Definitely, because he gives back a lot to Carroll City and just, Miami in general. So, with his big philanthropic heart, I know he's going to put that money to get used. And he's a good businessman anyway, so not surprised.
He's a great businessman. I didn't know him, but just reading this case, like you said, he's given back so much to the community. And that was the sad part about the fact that the attorney tried to use his downside during the pandemic as a reason to say, oh, you waive your right to filing this lawsuit. No, Flo Rida used that money to pay his staff, despite the fact that he was not able to work during the pandemic. He could not tour, right? He could not put on shows or go to clubs. And so for me to even read that and see that about him, I thought it was amazing, right? And you can't help but applaud a man who's willing to take care of his people, right? Even when he's in a tough situation. And to sell off his stock to do that, it was admirable. So for that defense attorney, I know you tried to use it against him, but it backfired, unfortunately.
I'm so glad you broke that down, because that's a really good point that I feel like is not being pushed out in the public space about this case, is the fact that why he was looking to get this stock. It was to to keep his employees paid during the horrible traumatic pandemic where so many people were losing their jobs, especially in the entertainment industry. He was working on ways to make sure he could keep them employed. So glad you brought that up.
Yes, he definitely was. He's definitely, everything I've read about him is he's about generational wealth and protecting his family and his people. And I'm happy that he's going to be able to continue to do that with his $82.6 million verdict.
Yes, that smile is definitely warranted. Flo Rida, come be my friend. You want to invest in a law firm and in a startup Black-owned media company?
Hey, man. We already, and Flo Rida, nobody works harder than a Black woman. Hello. No.
Nothing Black women. We will triple your money, quadruple your money. Okay, this is good soil. Flo Rida, come invest in some startups over here.
Oh my God, yes, you are 100% right. Oh my God. So Janae, this was so much fun. I really enjoyed it.
We definitely do this again. No, you're welcome. You're welcome. Y'all, this has been another great episode, a fun episode. This is going to be fun having Dr. Shawn, Attorney Campbell on, whatever you want to call.
Hello.
She's coming back.
Y'all just call me.
And it's going to be so fun to have her. Guys, thank you for tuning in and watching again. Make sure you go to Hilo News Miami to learn all the latest news going on in South Florida for dedicated to Black and Brown millennials. Sign up for our email newsletter and follow us on social media. We're on all the channels: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, Black Planet, Christian Mingle, everything. No, I'm just saying. But go to our website and you'll see all the places that we are. Thank you again, Dr. Shawn, for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you again for having me. But until next time, y'all stay safe out there. All right. Bye.